Today is Luffy's birthday in Japan, and in honor of the celebration, Oda put out a statement regarding the One Piece live-action Netflix series. There's some stuff that I really want to talk about here, so let's jump right into it. So I woke up this morning and saw this tweet from the official One Piece Netflix account saying, "We are in this together. Thank you, Eiichiro Oda, for your trust. We can't wait for the world to see what we've created." And I noticed this giant statement direct from Oda himself regarding the Netflix live-action One Piece series that's coming out. Now, there was some fake news article that came out when I was in Italy about test screenings, and all that stuff was fabricated and nonsense. So this has nothing to do with that. This is a separate statement from Oda directly, and I think it's a pretty interesting statement. He goes over a lot of stuff. He's very candid about the production. He talks about the staff and sort of reiterates a lot of things that I've mentioned on my live streams when I went to go do the set visit. And so let's just dive right into it. So Oda says, "I've been working with Tomorrow Studios and Netflix for quite some time now. And even though they understand each of the characters, we obviously come from very different cultures. So when it comes to entertainment, we have different codes, skill sets, and aims. Sometimes it could be frustrating for both sides. It felt like we're all trying to get to the same place, so how come we're not on the same wavelength? There was even a time when I thought, is a foreign production even possible?" Now, when I read that first paragraph, I immediately was like, uh-oh, where is this going? Are they announcing a delay? What's going on with the live action? But then Oda continues. He says, "Now, this might seem like it's coming out of nowhere, but we've been hard at work this entire time. And now, each and every entity involved is working in sync, and we are finally here." Let me tell you, real quick, another little insert, why I think it's really not coming out of nowhere if you've been paying attention to stuff at all. One, again, there was that fabricated news article about negative test screenings. I think Netflix and Tomorrow Studios and probably Oda wanted to jump on top of that and be like, look, this is false. Let's have Oda make a statement. And two, today is Luffy's birthday. There's almost always a big One Piece announcement on Luffy's birthday or some type of One Piece news, or at the very least a statement. And in my head, I think I kind of expected that the first teaser for the live action series was going to be happening today. And I think I've seen a lot of other people sort of agree with that idea that that was probably going to happen. That wasn't the case. And so I think this is also sort of him tempering those expectations and wanting to have something for Luffy's birthday regarding the Netflix series, but not being ready to show it just yet, which we get to a little bit later, so let's keep going. Oda says, "Considering my expected lifespan," by the way, this little bit gets a little dark, but he says, "Considering my expected lifespan, I believe this is the last chance to bring One Piece to the entire world. If we're going to do it, I want to be able to supervise things while I'm still active. That's why I agreed to the live-action adaptation of One Piece back in 2016. Now, this is another thing that many of us who have been following the live-action series know. Oda approves of everything. They're not making any changes or casting anybody without Oda's direct approval. We know this. We've known this for years, and I think it's really good to sort of hear it come out of his mouth directly, too, that he is directly involved. He does not want this thing to fail." So then Oda goes on to say, "Since then, Netflix has committed enormous resources to the production. It was announced that the show will launch in 2023, but," and this is highlighted in a different color, "they've promised that we won't launch it until I'm satisfied." So before we move on, I want to touch on that a little bit because, and this is pure speculation, and I said this a little bit earlier, I feel like I was half expecting a teaser or a trailer for the live-action Netflix series for Luffy's birthday. I think they've probably been trying to make a trailer or a teaser for a while, and this statement, where he says they've promised we won't launch until I'm satisfied, sort of leads me to believe that maybe there was a teaser or a trailer that was put together that was shown to Oda, and that Oda was like, this doesn't look ready yet, I'm not ready to show this, and I'm sure Tomorrow Studios and Netflix probably agreed. They know how much is writing on the show. I feel like, you gotta be really careful with live-action anime adaptations. They don't have the best track record, and I think as Oda goes on to say a little bit later in the statement, everybody involved with the show wants the show to succeed. Everybody involved with the show is a massive fan of One Piece. When I did that set visit last year in Cape Town and I was talking to people that were working on it, the production staff, the actors, the writers, everyone loves One Piece. So obviously nobody wants to disappoint Oda and nobody wants to make a bad product. Everybody working on it is working on it with the idea that they can create something amazing. And I feel like he just wants whatever the final product is, or the first time that we actually see the show in action. That's what I should say. I think the first time that Oda wants us to see the show, he wants us to be impressed. And reading this, I think he probably saw, and again, this is all speculation, this is not confirmed or anything, even though I know people, I think he probably saw something and was like, this doesn't look up to snuff yet. And I think Tomorrow Studios and Netflix agreed, and that's probably why we're getting a statement instead of getting a trailer or a teaser for Luffy's birthday. And so, adding to all that stuff I said earlier, Oda then says, the entire cast and crew, spanning various countries, are brimming with love for One Piece. And that's highlighted in a different color as well, just like the thing above where it says, like, we're going to delay it if they're not satisfied. They are burning with passion, and I've reminded everyone involved that this should be fun. So again, like, everyone working on this project is passionate about it. Everyone working on this loves One Piece. They want this to succeed, and they're not going to give us something that's subpar. Or at the very least, they don't want to, right? So going back real quick to what Oda said regarding they promise we won't launch it until I'm satisfied. I'm also reading into that as, look, we're still targeting 2023. But it probably won't be late summer or fall. It'll probably be later in the year, or it won't even be this year at all. If we're still tinkering with things and we want it to be really, really good, and we want to make sure that people like the show, we might hold off a little bit. And I could definitely see them doing that, and this is sort of him like preparing us for a delay for the live action series. Again, I don't know anything. I cannot stress that enough. Like, even though I know people on the production, I want to reiterate, I don't know anything. This is all speculation. But I do kind of feel like this is prepping us for a delay and readying people for a delay if we do end up getting one. And again, we might not. I think if we didn't get a teaser or a trailer today, part of me feels like we might end up seeing it during Netflix Geeked Week, which, if I'm remembering correctly, is normally like around E3 time or like around the time of the Summer Games Fest. Obviously, there's no E3 this year, but I'm pretty sure last year, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Netflix Geeked Week, where they show off all the trailers for all their like anime and manga and, you know, nerdy kind of shows, I think that's June this year still. And I feel like that might be when we end up seeing the first teaser or the first trailer, and they're just going to work on it a little bit longer. Because he says here, we are in the final process for the show right now. Right now, we are finishing all 8 episodes. This is also for the confirmation of something that people have been waiting on for a while. Confirmation, it is an 8-episode series and not a 10-episode series, not a 12-episode series. 8 episodes. That is that. I know something else about that, but I can't talk about that, so we're going to move on. And then he says, we'll be setting sail very soon. Ends it, signed Eiichiro Oda, with a little sketch of all of the main characters of the East Blue. So, the we'll be setting sail very soon thing, again, leads me to believe that we're going to be seeing a teaser probably within the next couple months. Like, we'll actually see it in action. But I think, again, if there was anything planned for today, it probably just didn't look up to snuff yet. Because one quick thing I can say, because again, I gotta be very careful. I don't want the Netflix ninjas to like take me down, but because I don't want to say anything about the production that has not been released yet in regards to like cool stuff that I saw. But I am safe to say this. What I saw and what Reagan saw when we were in Cape Town last year and walking around the sets, like, was genuinely jaw-dropping. Like, I actually was shocked at how cool everything looked and how well they adapted certain things. And I feel like that aspect of it, I have no doubt is going to impress people and people are going to love. I think if there's any concern that I have, because this is something that obviously I couldn't see when I was on set, because you're at a physical set, right? It's not done. I think the concern that I have about the show, and the one thing that I think maybe led to the statement and led them talking about this and saying maybe we'll delay it if we need to delay it, all this, is the CG. I think bad CG is so prevalent on a lot of these streaming shows nowadays. Like, you see it with a lot of the Marvel shows. Marvel was getting flack for She-Hulk, and I mean, you see it on a bunch of stuff, but that's like the first one that came to mind. And I feel like Netflix wants to avoid that. Again, I think they have a lot riding on this. They want this to be the first good, big, live-action anime adaptation. And so again, I feel like if there's anything that maybe needs a little more work, I'm speculating it's the CG, because again, everything that I saw on set was just gorgeous, like absolutely gorgeous. And again, the people working on the production, and I'm sure that goes up to the CG team too, they love the series. They want the series to do well. So I am hoping and praying that we get a teaser relatively soon, so we stop getting all these fake articles about test screenings and all this stuff. I'm very happy Oda made this statement, and I'm just excited to actually see what the show is going to actually look like on screen. You know, it's one thing to walk around the set and it's another thing to actually see the thing on the silver screen. So that's what I want to see. I want to see the first teaser. I don't know when it's going to happen. I think it's going to be kind of soon. I feel like if I had to make an educated guess, it was going to be Netflix Geek Week. I think maybe they planned for Luffy's birthday. They didn't end up doing it. It wasn't ready yet, and that was that. But you guys know how I feel. I'm excited. I want the show to succeed. I think a lot of people out there want it to succeed too. I think there's always going to be a subsection of fans that aren't going to like anything live action related. But I feel like if Oda is signing off on it and saying everybody working on it is passionate and reiterating everything that I've said and that Matt has said and everybody else who has been putting out videos and talking about this online about how the people working on it really are passionate and Oda signs off on everything, this should sort of ease a lot of people's concerns, right? That they are not going to put this out before they are ready to put this out and before Oda approves of it. So that, at the very least, is very, very good news, and I'm excited to see the first teaser. But please, let me know what you thought of Oda's statement down in the comments below. Are you excited for the live action? Are you still concerned about something? If so, drop it down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye, everybody!